I was 16. I was just dating my first girlfriend, and I realized that after a 2.5 year relationship, she cheated on me. And it was in the same month, so May 14th, on her birthday, she told me that she didn't want to date me anymore. And I just didn't understand why. I was so confused. And I could tell that she was feeling bad about it. And she wanted to go and cut her arms, her wrists. And I had a panic attack. I ran upstairs to the kitchen. I grabbed the scissors. Everything was fine until I just froze. And she grabbed the scissors out of my hand, went into the bathroom, locked the door, and was in there for a good solid hour. And what I could think of was, I just was in the kitchen. Now I'm in the bedroom, and I'm sitting on the chair and on the bed, and I was scared. I go in and bang on the door. She comes out and she's got these deep marks on her arms. On her wrists. And she's like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "No, I just want to make sure you're okay." So I made sure she was okay. In the morning, her mom starts yelling at me and saying that I was the cause of her cutting. Then I found out that my girlfriend's cheating on me. And in June, my grandma dies from cancer. And my best friend, in June, my best friend wanted to kill himself too. And so I thought about it before I sent the message. I thought what I was going to say, and I was like, a true friend wouldn't just sit here and do nothing. A true friend would go and try whatever they could do to stop that person, even if it meant putting them in a bad situation. So I ran downstairs and told my mom that I was leaving. She's like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yes, I am." She's like, Steve's like, "What makes you think you can disobey your mother?" I'm like, "What makes you think that I have to listen when I'm 16 and I can make my own choices? And if I want to go save someone's life, I damn well sure hell will fucking save someone's life." My dad's like, "Not with that attitude." I'm like, he's like, "You ain't leaving." I'm like, "What you gonna do? You're gonna stop me or you're gonna kick me out?" Because for as far as I can say, you guys are just shitty people. And he's like, "How so?" I'm like, "How so?" Okay, so if your friend, your best friend that you knew since childhood, was gonna hurt themselves and they text you or called you and said they were gonna do it, would you go stop whatever it is you're doing, not think twice, and go and save that person's life? Both of them, Steve, it only took him like not even 10 seconds, and he said no. My mom, she thought about it and said no because my stepdad gave her a look. And I said, "That's where me and you are different." And Mom, come on. Honestly, I thought you were different. You teach a bunch of kids at a school, and you're telling me if one of those kids said that they were going to kill themselves, you wouldn't pick up the phone line and call 911? Or you wouldn't go and stop that kid? You wouldn't go and grab him and spin him around and tell him to go back into the school? Mom, I know you're all these things, but a liar is not one of them. And I said, the difference between you and me is that I would go risk and save someone's life. So as soon as I walked away, my dad's like, you're not walking away. And I said, I'm fucking walking away and you can't stop me. He's like, talk to me like that again and I'll punch you in the face. And I said, you know what? I'm sick and tired of you constantly saying that. Why don't you go ahead and just do it? Because you always want to fucking hit me anyways. He's like, yeah? I'm like, yeah, fucking hit me. And I put my hand to my head and it just went like this. And my dad not smacked me, but ran up and punched me in the face. And I just looked at him. He was confused because I just gave him a look. And that look was, okay, tough guy. So I'm just going to wait it out. So he turned around thinking that I wasn't going to do anything because I made it look like I was just about to turn and grab the door, and I swung back and punched him in between the head and the shoulder, so right in the neck. And he stumbled on a bunch of stuff, looked at me with a that just happened look, and I was like, you ever touch me again and I'll fucking kill you for all the shit that you put me through for since I was 7 to 16. You're lucky that I haven't even made a mark on you and that I just only punched you in the neck, because if I had it my way, you wouldn't be breathing or even talking right now. And I said, by the way, I'm leaving and I hope I can come back. And I should have said hope, because that gave him a leverage. He's like, yeah, good luck trying to get back in. I'm like, yeah, good luck, because it ain't your house. This is me and my mom's house. We've been living here since I was 3.5. And he got mad. He threw a steel-toed boot at my face and left. I left. I ran to my friend, realized that my friend wasn't going to hurt himself. I went back to the house. The door was locked. I tried to ring the doorbell. They didn't answer it until an hour later. An hour later, my mom was like, what do you want? I was like, can I have my can I come in? No. I'm like, why? Because you left. I'm like, what do you mean I left? You left. I'm like, just because I left doesn't mean that I need to be kicked out. What's going on here? Cass, you're not allowed to come back here because you don't listen to our rules and you left 18 times. I'm like, yeah, and during those 18 times, you have hurt me physically and mentally. And you expect me to just sit there and take it like a champ and not say anything, not feel any emotion, and just say, okay, I'm going to go to my room now. No. The reason why I leave those 18 times was so I could walk away, and each time I left the house, I said, I'm going for a walk and I'm coming back. And to be honest, I have a witness, because Mom always walked with me. And I've always came back. So what do you mean I'm kicked out? They're like, you're not allowed back here. And if you don't leave, we'll call the cops. And I was like, go ahead and call the cops. I'll tell them everything that you just did now and I'll prove it. And I have proof. He's like, what proof? You don't need to know. Because if I told you the what I have for proof, you just fucking take that and just wipe it away. He's like, yeah, I would. I'm like, I know. Because you're an abuser. And that's what abusive people do. And he's like, good luck trying to get back in. So he shut the door. That night, I was slept on the porch. And I was cold, so I didn't want to ring the doorbell because I didn't want them to be mad at me. But I did it anyways because I was freezing. My mom's like, your dad, Steve's asleep. What do you want, Cass? I'm like, can I have my blankets and some clothes, please? Because, like, I'm freezing out here. And she's like, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, can I even get some food? She's like, yeah, I can do that too. So, thinking that it was going to be solved in the morning, I didn't think I had to leave. So I got my clothes, I had my blanket, I left my blanket at the house. I'm walking down Johnson Street going to the park near No Frills, and I meet these two guys. And at first my gut's telling me not really to go in near them, but survival skills was like, I should probably talk to these people because they probably know what to do. So I went back and talked to them, smoked a joint with them, and they brought me to this trap house to their friends because they needed something. As I'm hanging out with them, I asked the person who owns the place if I could stay here because I have no place to go. And they said, how old are you? I was like, I'm 16. They're like, you're 16 and you're kicked out on the streets? What kind of... And all I hear is her going off about how stupid my parents are and everything. And not to mention that I was like, I'm also adopted. And she's adopted. Like, why? And at the trap house, I was raped. And before I was raped, the person who owned that place had this bong. She made a concoction with some heroin, crack, meth, and I believe it was fentanyl because she didn't say what was in it, but I just kind of saw the remnants around, and I watched her put whatever was in her bong, and I watched her smoke it because I was kind of curious, because I'm a very curious person, and I pick up on a lot of things. She blew it in my face, and that's why I was raped, was because when I got to my bed, I knew that I wasn't okay, and I thought it'd be smart if I took a picture of what I looked like, because I don't know what I look like. As soon as I looked in the camera on my phone, my face was going red and purple, and I think I took a video, and I remember my eyes rolling back, and I just fell. And when I woke up, there's a black dude on my phone for a photo. Was the first thing that I opened up to after putting the password in, which was confusing because how the fuck did I even get there when I was sleeping? 2, why is my pants down? 3, why am I hurting? And I got told that that they didn't tell me what happened. I kind of figured because of the way they were acting. They kept asking me if I was okay and what kind of pain was I in, and they kept giving me food and a lot of drinks, and they took me out to McDonald's. They were being all goody-goody, and it was like I kind of picked up on what happened, and as soon as that situation happened, the girl who sort of owns the place had this number that you call, and then a guy comes over. Well, as she's trying to get with him, he's seeing two 17-year-olds in the house. And he's like, why are you asking us why are we here? And the person who wants to get with him was like, why do you want to talk to these people? Like, come on, let's go this way. He's like, no, I won't, just give me a minute. Like, trying to push her off. And he was interested of how we got there. And after he was done with her, he was like, do you guys want to come to my place? Because I can't sit here and watch two young kids being in a crack house and probably going to get sent back to the streets and just have their life destroyed. Can you guys come with me? Like, what I said was, before even my friend Raven said anything, I was like, can I trust you? Will you rate me? If not, I'm okay with coming with you. I just need to know that I'm going to be safe because I can't handle another situation. He's like, no, you'll be safe. When I get to his place is so cool. And I meet these guys. And they were smoking crack, and I got interested, so I asked the guy if I could try some. He was like, yeah, sure. I'll just give you a little bit because I don't know, like, I know you don't do stuff because you look young, and to be honest, I wouldn't recommend you doing it, but I'll give you a straight shooter, and like a hoot instead, which means that they'll pass it through a pipe or they'll pass it through mouth to mouth. It's just a secondhand high. You're not actually. It's better to get a secondhand high on that stuff than to just have it all at first hand. And so when I did it, I was having fun. We got high, and I got this tattoo, and it was horrible. He was too. I was really drunk. I think it was Crown Royal, to be honest. I don't remember. I know it was just whiskey, and I was just slamming it down. And all I can remember is, can you feel anything? I'm like, no, I don't feel nothing. He's like, dude, I'm pressing into your skin. I am making you bleed. How do you not feel anything? I'm like, I don't know. And I have a memory of that. When the body didn't tell the landlord. So the landlord that day, when I should have not went back to the house, but I did. The landlord kicked me out, and my grandma couldn't take me in because my mom and my stepdad told him not to. And so I went back to the streets again. And that's also how I got raped the second time, is because the guy introduced me to meth and kept giving it to me. And then it was right outside the downtown, like just off the waterfront where the washrooms are. And I woke up with my pants sort of down, and I'm hurting, and the guy's not there.
You don't have a memory once you.
To be honest, those two times I've never felt. I don't, like, when I'm high, I'm not aware. Like, I'm sleeping. Like, I pass out sleeping. So when I'm sleeping and when you're high, if you're sleeping, all you can think about is all the high that's going on in your head. You're not thinking all your surroundings because it's making you focus on your high, and it's making you more tired. So all I was doing was basically trying to. Basically, what I remember is I'm blacked out, don't understand why I can't see anything but darkness, and I'm hearing voices and weird sounds, and all I can think about is my voice telling myself to wake up, and I couldn't wake up, and when I woke up, it was morning, and that happened. It was like the same thing when I was at the trap house. It was like the same warning. To be honest, I was hurting. My body was hurting. I was hurting. I was tired. And what made me remember was, hey, do you want some meth? Sure. Smoked? Oh shit, that happened. Oh wait, that actually did happen. Oh. Well, that makes sense now. And I went to Sally and I said, do you guys have any food or anything? And who can I talk to if I'm in a bad situation and I don't know how I got into it? They're like, what do you mean? I don't really want to talk about it, but they're like, I mean, you could always go to the Gilbert Center. And that's where I met the Gilbert Center. And then the Gilbert Center introduced me to Youth Haven. Youth Haven introduced me to Eve Fry. And when I was my third year, to tell you the truth, my first year on the streets is where I learned how to pick up street code. But I just didn't know what it was. And the first thing that I picked up was the walking, the movement, the looking away. So I did the exact same thing because I knew exactly. I didn't know what it all meant, what I was doing, but somehow I was like, okay, I had this like, okay, so me looking away means I'm done talking to you. And I was like, okay, so that's what that means. And when I met Ty at Youth Haven, my life was all like completely horrible. He actually answered some of my questions after me telling him that I didn't know what street code was. I said, to be honest, if I tell you each and everything that I know, tell me if it's right. Is he like, okay, this is a one-time thing. I'm not, like, don't expect me to tell you because I'm not really supposed to tell you, but I'll tell you anyways, but just keep it on the down low. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody that you told me. It's like, good, because then they'll make you do it all the time, and I don't want you to have to always worry about that stuff or always have to focus on it. I was like, okay. So, pretty much everything that I thought of what it was actually exactly what it was. So, but he thought I was more of an expert on, like, he thought I knew street code for at least 14 years. The way that I acted and talked it, he said I was speaking fluently, and body movement, everything. He said I had everything dead on point, and he thought that I had more years on street code on him than he did on me. And I was like, no, I didn't know anything about it. He's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, I didn't know. When I found out who my birth parents were, when I was living at my mom's at the time, when I was living at my mom's at the time, when I found out, when I was on the streets, I was wondering what they were doing, if this was what they wanted to do, and why did they. Mostly it was like, okay, if they did meth, why did they do meth? I want to know why they did it. So I smoked it to understand. I was like, okay, that's a high, but I could I can do better. I could just smoke a bunch of pot and get more fucked up and stoned than I can with just one puff of meth. And so I just all I did the reason why I tried those drugs was because I was curious. And the one thing I never tried was heroin, and I'll never do it because my mom was a needle addict, and I don't want to be like her.
So you're just curious, but you never addicted to any drugs.
I was very, very curious. I'm not addicted to meth, and I'm not addicted to crack or fentanyl. I just do meth, like smoke it, not even like here and there. Like in like a month, I probably only smoked meth twice
That's
for
my
a day.
question. Because you're physically built different tolerance to drugs, or you just emotionally have some thought why you don't addicted?
Alright, so the reason why I'm not addicted to them is because technically, when my mom had me, I'm FASD. I have fetal alcohol drug and syndrome. So, meaning my mom did a bunch of drugs when she was pregnant with me, and those drugs were meth, crack, heroin. I think she did fentanyl, but I haven't asked her because that's the worst one out there besides heroin. He and me were in a good relationship, but he constantly drank, and I'm sorry, it's just when I talk I image everything that happened, and he's an alcoholic, and when he drinks, when he gets faded, he hurts me.
How old is Ty?
19.
Okay.
Well, just turned 20, but
Hurt you how? Hurts you physically?
yeah. His mom hurt him when at a young age, and because Ty's not here to ask permission if it's okay, therefore I won't say what happened. But what happened with his past is the reason why when he's faded, he will attack anybody because he sees the person who attacked him, and he doesn't see the actual person in front of him. So when he attacked me, he saw the person who attacked him as a child and did not see myself, I guess. And when this was happening, a police car drove by, stopped, ran, and both situations, Ty gave me a bit of PTSD, and the police did, because now I just saw my boyfriend get run up and slammed onto the ground, and this police officer had the nerve to put his whole body weight on the knee, right between the back and the neck. Put it right down and didn't go softly on him. Went crunched down, and all I hear is Ty go, ah! And as soon as he looked around his surroundings, he started crying and panicking, and kept apologizing and said that it was bad. That was the first time, and the second time was pretty bad. Now he's in jail. It's been hard not having that person that you know who you tell everything to, not to be there for you when it's better to have somebody there with you than being alone on the street, because at least one person can say, if you can't talk and say leave me alone, they can avlage and they read your emotions and your body language, and they'll tell that person to leave you alone. I'm worried that someone's gonna rape me again, and when I'm walking downtown, I always feel like someone's gonna jump me from behind.
Ever happened?
Yes. A reason that I don't want. Well, actually, yeah. I didn't have enough money to go get chips, and I went and grabbed chips and ran out the store, and the guy chased me down, and Ty ran. So what he saw was me run, then he saw the guy run after me, then he booked it as fast as he could. All you see is the guy whacked me in the head, made me trip in front of the street, and kept punching me. And this lady's like, hey, you can't hit a female. What are you doing? Get off of her. And I was like, it's okay. It's my fault. I took a bag of chips because I didn't have any money. She's like, he punched you for a bag of chips? Now, you can get charged for punching her, right? And it's just a bag of chips. She's not doing anything wrong. She's just trying to feed herself. And not knowing that knowing that I was pregnant, but the guy didn't even know that. And it's bad.
You are pregnant?
I was pregnant at the time when I got punched and I fell on my stomach. And
then what happened?
The kid was okay. It was just
You have a kid?
No, I don't. I got an abortion. The people at Youth Haven, there's some people at Youth Haven who just constantly like drama, and at the time they were going through their own situation, but how they handle it is taking it out on others. So this person caused me so much stress, tried to jump me all the time. Whenever I saw them, they were trying to punch me and stuff, and one day it slipped out of Ty's mouth. He said, please don't hurt her, she's pregnant. And it got that person to get provoked and made it a mission every day to, when they saw me, to try to punch me in the stomach and constantly tell me how they were going to kill a kid. And I was like, for one, I can get you charged for uttering death threats. 2, I can get you charged for manslaughtering a child. 3, you would also get child abuse and a bunch of other things. And
so Ty is the father?
Ty, yeah, he was the father. And to be honest, Ty was awesome. When he's not drinking, he's the best person to hang out with. He's like me, but more goofier and frustrating, but he's awesome. And with Ty, every time I was in a situation, every time they pulled up, Ty would always go like this and say, if you have a problem with her, you have a problem with me. And you want to get to her, you got to answer to me. What's the problem? And
so what makes him into prison?
Assault charge on me.
For how long? Prison.
He was in there in May, the first week of May, and I just got told by a buddy who saw him like 3 weeks ago, or during 3 weeks, I guess. 3 weeks ago, uh, that he's in there for 3 months. 3 months more, and that he won't be probably out until later. And it could be 3 months or it could be 4 months. It depends. Or, but
You expecting him?
to be honest, I know what's going on in his head right now. He is worried. He, like the last time, he was devastated of what he did. He blamed himself. He didn't want to date me anymore. Not that he didn't want to date me, is that he didn't want to hurt me. He didn't want me to be in a situation. So right now he's going through a mixed emotions of, what did I just do? I shouldn't be around her, but I love her. I don't know what to do. I want to drink. I don't know. So he's in a weird headspace. Oh, sorry.
So, tell me your plan. So you are only 20 years old. Your life has just started. So do you have any dream or any plan in your future?
I want to go to college, and I am autistic. I have this community, which is Catalpa, and Eileen is one of my is my one of my workers, and Lisa Teskey is one of the management for foundation for the funding program, passport funding program, and Brooke, what's her name? Julie Westcott is my broker, so she's the one that handles my money and handles what I can get and other stuff. She wants me to, well, on my own accord, she wants me to see if I could get a person who can, or see if I can get enough money to buy a course for college for photography and kind of like broadcasting. It's so I can learn how to become a DJ. I already know how to do. I used my DJ mixer or something. It's just like this old app that is free online, and that you just randomly mix music and you can record and you can post it on Facebook. I used to do that all the time, and that's what I want to do, is do photography, so that when I make my music, I can make my own albums and be my own photographer, so that way I can save more money and spend less money on what so that um also I get the credit out of it too, because then not only are people looking at my artwork for music, they're looking at my photos and stuff, and that also opens up a lot of other businesses.
Look back the 4 years you live on street. What do you learn?
I learned that I learned certain people you can trust and certain people you can't trust, and sometimes blood isn't always thicker than water. Sometimes blood isn't just family. Isn't just like, just because someone's isn't in your family doesn't mean that they're not, like, they can be blood related. So meaning wise is that sometimes the family that you're born with or raised by isn't the family that you're supposed to be with. Maybe it's a friend that you met on the street. Maybe it's someone that you talk to, and that person's more like a family than your own bloodline. So I've learned that there's a lot of people here that are very nice and who are homeless too, and I consider them more my family because they know what I'm going through every day. They might not know exactly, but they're with me going through it, and that's all I can that's all that's good for me, is because someone who doesn't understand, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, I get you, I can relate. It's the relating that helps, is because then I understand that they feel my pain. And that's what I've learned on the streets, is it's hard, but it's better than being at home and getting punched or hurt or abused every day. At least I can actually, like, I have a lot of freedom. I can choose what I want to do. I can be like, oh, I want to go to the skate park. I can go to the skate park because I don't have rules. But my technically my rules is make sure that I'm eating food. 2, I'm having an okay time. 3, I'm making sure my surroundings so that I'm safe. And the 4th one is that make sure that I have somewhere to sleep for the night. Meaning if that's going to the church or going to Busby or a friend's house, I'm always safe. And I try not to be ever alone. I mostly try to grab someone that I know and be like, hey, can I just hang out with you for tonight? And they're like, yeah, sure. So sorry that my life story was so long.
No, I love your stories. Thank you so much for sharing.
It was a pleasure to tell it. It's like the first time I've ever told people how I felt. So I do have one thing to say. For the people who have been through what I've been through, just know that you're never alone and that there's always going to be someone there to help you. And if you feel like there's no one to help you, I hope my story helps those people to know that they're not going through it alone, and that they can do something with their life. I feel like every time I get a job and I get laid off, I feel like I don't deserve a job, because the way I was raised is how I look at my jobs and my life. I did something wrong, well, now I don't deserve to be there. But that's just my mindset. But when I actually get a job, all the employees, they're like, dude, you deserve every chance to be here. You deserve to be a person. You deserve to get money. You deserve to have a job and to do what you want. Because in the end of the day, you want to be in a house, not on the street. But it's good to have some people that you know, just in case if something went wrong. That way you can talk to them or you have an escape.
You deserve people to love you. Really. And yeah, thank you very much for this.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you to have me. Sorry.